Do you think that you could be happy all the time? Is that even possible? To stay constantly in a state of peace and joy and excitement all the time? Bad things will happen to you, certainly, but can happiness be sustained through hard times? But what is happiness? Happiness is a positive and pleasant emotion ranging from contentment to intense joy. That's from Wikipedia. Happiness can be defined as an enduring state of mind consisting of not only feelings of joy, contentment, and other positive emotions, but also a sense that one's life is meaningful and valued. How do you know if you're happy? Some people may look like they're happy, they're smiling all the time, maybe they're funny, or maybe they look just fine from the outside. But actually, many of these people have suicidal thoughts or depression or anxiety or many uncomfortable situations that they just learn how to cover and hide. On the other hand, you may have someone who doesn't look so cheerful or happy or smiling or laughing all the time, but they are deeply, profoundly happy the way their life is. Still, we can make a guess of how people feel if you listen carefully to how much they complain, about the things they complain, how much they excuse their feelings because of something outside of them is forcing them to feel like that and they are victims, or how excited they are towards their future, if they have goals and a purpose, or maybe they're just talking too much about the past and regretting things, or imagining situations will never happen and they still talk and think about it when it only hurts to think like that. Let's talk about you, what you honestly directly feel. When you go to bed at night, are you really excited about the next day? Like a kid on Christmas Eve. Doesn't need to be so excited, but you know what I'm talking about is so how excited are you in general about your own life, about living every moment, about enjoying every second, about your relationships, about the work you do. If you already say that you're happy, then congratulations. The downside to that is that you're already setting the top limit of your happiness. So if you're happy with the way you are, that's fantastic. That's great. If you're able to imagine that you may not have completely achieved perfect happiness and there's still things to do, then that can bring huge opportunities to improve and to learn about yourself. But how happy could you really be and for how long? For the purpose of what we're doing now, just consider a memory of a moment where you were actually happy, something real, something you remember. It was one of the best moments. Doesn't need to be the best, doesn't need to be especially exciting. Just honestly think about what is the top of a good moment you have ever lived. Doesn't need to be incredible like in the Hollywood movies, but just has to be like an honest, real one that you say, okay, I know how happiness is because I lived certain moments where everything was real and I felt really good. Now, could you always be happy? Think about that moment where you felt really good, that moment that you consider that was an experience of happiness. And chances are that you actually think that that happiness was caused by something outside of you. Maybe it was a person, maybe it was a place, something that happened, a circumstance, something outside of you. Let me make this point clear. That moment of happiness, that sense of joy and completion and connection with everything around you and that everything's just fine, it wasn't because of that person or that object or that place or whatever special was about that moment. It wasn't because of something outside of yourself. And as abstract this may seem to you, and I know there's a part of you that is probably rebelling and saying, no, it was actually because of that, because that person or that situation right now is not in front of me and I'm not happy. It looks like a proof, but just consider that you may be actually wrong. It's a really good discovery. And a very good reason why you want to explore this seriously is because if happiness comes outside from yourself, then you will never have lasting happiness. It's not possible. Things will come and will go. People will come and will go. Places will come and go. And circumstances, everything. You cannot control everything. So even when you get to succeed at something and finally get the perfect scenario to say, I'm happy, it will go away. So you will find yourself sooner or later in the same spot where you started. So remember again that moment, that place. Remember that sense of joy. And just for a second, consider that it wasn't the objects around you or the people around you or all that you consider to be the trigger. Just for a second, consider, okay, they may have been the trigger, but the happiness came from inside of yourself. It was a sense of allowing. It was something that was there already in the background. And we just allow through a special circumstance or people to let ourselves rejoice in thinking that things are already perfect. And in just this allowing that relaxation, we let a deeper side of ourselves come more in the foreground and experience what we call a happy moment. And this can happen again and again, but only if you don't believe that things make you happy or make you miserable. In any circumstance where you think you actually don't have the power to connect with that deeper side of yourself, that will be the truth that you will be living. But it's not necessarily the truth. And the experiment for this is to actually seriously consider that your happiness is not caused by something outside of yourself. And I know you may try this before, and you tried and you tried, and you heard words like this before, but you stick to it. Okay, but how? Well, first thing, don't worry. You have internet. There is a lot of people like myself that are going to be supporting you, are going to at least suggesting lines of work, and just go around and just try until you find it. You will find improvements and you will get stuck. But the most important thing is to realize you're not alone. Everybody's actually trying to be happy. Just look for people who are trying to make you aware that you are already complete and that everything is already there, that you actually have the potential to be happy, and follow their guidance. An important point to notice is that if you really want to be happy, you want to make it your number one priority in life. You cannot afford to slip out of it. Your project is to be happy. And your success, or if getting things around you to be the way you want, all that is just in a scenario. The important game is played inside of your mind. Most people who have realized this state of perfect happiness, no matter what, completely independent from your circumstances, what could be called freedom, most of them did it through meditation. I know this doesn't sound exciting as one simple weekend hacking your life, but it's actually the truth. It's done step by step towards calming your mind, stabilizing your attention, bring clarity and peace into your life. And then everything you ever wanted to know, all the solutions to the problems that you have in your life will come up front. You will tap into the knowledge that is inside of you. And we normally keep it completely blocked and covered because we have too many thoughts. We are too distracted. We are too worried about things that are really actually not important. So the solution is to simplify your life, make being happy the only goal you have, and practice that by calming your mind. At least dispelling the clouds that are saying the contrary, dispelling the clouds of victimism, of blaming other people, or looking for the future whenever things are the way you are. That's none of that is really going to make you happy ever. So sit, calm your mind, sharpen your attention, root into a calm state where things are peaceful naturally, where you can notice this moment with the 5 senses more clearly, and things will start settling down. Then a smooth sense of joy and peace will come from the horizon in your life, and little by little you will find yourself more and more immersed in that. But for that to happen, you have to actually practice the art of letting go of your own mind. There are many great teachers and material available to you, but if you don't know where to start, in this channel you will find a lot of guided meditations. Thank you so much for watching.